Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris. This is Stars Order 7. And continuing our jump save, couple of races to run, and then kind of a little lull in the schedule um, for the next month or so, where we don't really have horses at the right lengths to get into some of the races we have. Um, so, yeah, there's not a ton of grade ones in this period, and they don't really suit a lot of our horses. So we will be looking more lower grades and even a couple of novices for those that haven't won grades up until this point. But we do have a couple of nice ones in the meantime. So, yeah, I've got to remember as well when to put people in to the breeding barn and not kind of over race our fillies and just kind of see where they line up. But I don't think there's going to be anything at an auction. I got to be honest with you. I'm not I'm not entirely sure that there's gonna be much worth diving in for, so yeah, I don't know. I don't feel that really our bloodlines are gonna be improved that much by what's available. And I could be wrong. I could very well be wrong, and I'm still checking, but it would take something fairly special for us to kind of look at picking anyone up at an auction, especially a yearling or a 2-year-old, or taking a risk on that kind of a horse. I don't think that really suits what we're looking for right now. Um, being said, before we jump into this, I do kind of want to take a look. Yeah, a lot of the top horses now have been retired. You can see these black silks next to their name or crosses or whatever they are. These horses have expired in some way. So Memphis Man is the top horse, and that is the one we are breeding from. 27 grade 1 wins. We're really hoping that's going to be a big indicator of how good that horse was. And then, yeah, just a lot of geldings as well. But I quickly want to go through and make sure that everybody's been kind of added that needs to be added. So all the fillies and mares, I don't think there will be any fillies. I don't think there'll be I don't think there'll be any on the list young enough. And then any without the letter, whether you can tell that's a G or not, it is a G for gelding. Any without are just normal, and anything with a G has, of course, been gelded. And yeah, talking of gelding, I brought it up at the end of the last video, really, or through the last video, where is it a good idea? Is it not? And yeah, so I think it's definitely something we keep an eye on. We don't need to do it early, unless I think we're committed to 100% not having anything in the way of breeding. I think that's really about it, At that point, sure. If we're never going to breed from a horse, we can probably do it early. Other than that, probably best to wait a little bit. Because yeah, I mean, it's not going to hurt us, and we'll probably be, able to improve as the horse ages up anyway. So that's kind of how I'm thinking about it. Um, so yeah, but we'll see kind of when they hit their peaks and then we'll decide if we want to geld them or not then, unless, like I say, we're not breeding at all, and then we can kind of think about things moving forward. But yeah, I quite like this. The fact that we're breeding from the top horses still in the game, the number 4 of all time, and that, there's only one horse that won more races than it, which was Alexius. And to be fair, we don't really know, but it doesn't look like they were a great breeder. We've still got some horses that could come good and win some grade 1s, but right now, no grades at all. Only one stake winner out of 15 opportunities. Memphis Man hasn't bred for that long. So, yeah, it will be kind of interesting, but all but one of their horses is still in the game. So that could be kind of interesting. And then, as you just saw way down at the bottom of the list, number 92 is Purple Search. Only 5 already on this list. And to be honest with you, we just, by the time they hit their peak, on the same trajectory they're currently on, you're probably on about a top 20 horse, somewhere around here. And if they do improve as they grow as well, there's always a chance they'll be more up towards a top 10 by their peak. And if we did keep them on until some of these ages, 12 to 14, when these horses are getting retired and so on, who knows? We could be pushing towards a top 5, maybe even that 27 or 30 grade 1 wins. I'm not sure about that. But 5 already early on, couple of close places as well, and already full potential bar. It could be something. Definitely could be something. And even then, you can see we've got a couple of others now who are not that far behind either in terms of rating. And there you go. You can see we've got a few names on the top 100 of active horses in the UK too. So I kind of like it. A horse that I really like and I really want to see do well is Dramster. And I'm somewhere on 2.6, 2.7. We're right in the middle of it. It's only a novice. I'm kind of just testing for distance. So I think we want to challenge earlier. As long as we're not messed up in the paddock, we look okay. Moonlark is a very good horse for sure. I don't think we should fear them. We have any graded horse, but Ikalani, the 2 mile 6 furlong, 110 yard Killoglin novices chase. A class 2 novice for 4-year-olds and older. As said, we will be the favourite and we will be the best horse in this field, the only one with a grade, and we have 3 of them. Moonlark Betsy, highly tipped. Mirage Wonders is the actual favourite, and we're not as fancied as some of these horses, but I think we should be. We 100% should be. And we're in the trees here, so we'll have to watch this one a little bit of the wrong way round. First jump is okay. We've gone to the front. Queenfisher and Natilda, Jamaica Colt, Malvino, Paddy, no dropping back. Matoka Price, Aries, no. And then Moonlark, Betsy on that far side. Oh, sorry, on the near side. The grey. Stablemate was on the far side. Up on the far side as well, Paddy making moves Honest Foot and Mirage Wonders are there. Matoka Price unseated. I think at jump 5. And let's see now if we can come back out and not get hit by the trees on the side. 11 furlongs to go and halfway on the jumps. I think we are going to have to look this way around, which I absolutely hate, but that's what we're going to have to do. Double-digit jumps over halfway, and now coming up to the final mile, we're there with Jamaica Colt, Aries, no, back to Queen Fisher, Natilda, Melvino, Paddy, Amatoka Price. The two MPs in this field have both been unseated now. Coming down to the final half a mile, Dramster starting to kick on. Moonlight Betsy, that favourite, is in second place with Jamaica Colt making a very, very strong move. Dramster doesn't jump particularly well, but keeps a hold of the lead for now, and it's going to be Jamaica Colt and Dramster. Jamaica Colt pulling away. Spring Falls, Queenfish and Matilda also unseated. Moonlight Betsy dropping back out the way with Aries. No, Mirage Wonders and Honest Foot, the last remaining seated finisher. Not bad. I think if we were a better jumper, we win. I don't think that's a distance issue. I do feel that was a good run. Trip suited perfectly. Yeah, I think 2.6, 2.7 is kind of where both Dramster and Braised Ham are running. Which does make it a touch difficult to book races, but yeah. Not a bad race. Not a bad race. Not the result you kind of want for sure. But the distance really did seem good. And yeah, if we were able to jump, we'd be great. I think that's what a lot of our horses are missing. I've got 10%, 20%, 0, 20, 10, 0, 10, 20, 0, 0, 20. So if I had another 10% in there, it would be even. So we got 4 with 20%, 4 with 0%, 3 with 10%. That's just kind of where we are. So a lot of these are from flat breeding stock, to be fair. And so, yeah, it is a little difficult. Although, in the breeding barn, we have very few, I think, zeros. So that's 4, 5, 6. A few more than I thought, actually. A few more than I thought. But, yeah, we do have a lot that are actually kind of decent. In terms of jumping, at least. So, we'll see how that goes. Braised Ham, again, back at Killarney. We are okay. Not the best. Nobody's tipped. We're one of the favourites, but not really. We're going to be the lowest rated horse by far, but also a good horse. And one of the few that's won their last race. One of two, in fact, that's won their last race. That's also going to be with low weight, with low age. It's against older horses. It's going to be tough. It's a little handicap that I'm really not sure where we line up or how we run this. Again, we haven't been able to get to 3 miles. I do feel like possibly we can get to 2.7. And this is 2.6. So again, I think we challenge earlier. We don't really have too much idea of true distance because it's being masked a little bit by distance ability. But I know even with this, 3 is a touch too far. And so We're probably 2.7. So what are we, 2.5? Maybe 2.6 normally. And then the adaptability we're able to get up and running at a furlong or two more. So, yeah, I think challenging earlier might work out for us. But I think a useful run for Dramster to gain comfortability at running at this distance. We're now trying to do the same with Braised Ham. 2 mile, 6 furlong, Provi Milk handicap hurdle. It's a class 2 handicap up to 140 rated horses. 4-year-olds and older are eligible to run Hurakalani in Ireland once again. As I say, nobody tipped. We're okay in the paddock. Some are better, some are worse. We're one of the favourites, but there isn't really a massively fancied horse for this. We get over to the first one, okay. Middle of the screen towards the front. We've got Doraway, Calculated Rescue, Phil McGinty, and Harmony Burgundy right in the mix there with Toulouse Kardec and Dulashki Temper, Oblique Maker, Baby Gates Trend. Quite a decade also in the mix. Back to Rosada Bell and Nusa Sheila at the rear. We're moving back ever so slightly. Again, we're not a great jumper, so what you want to see is just neutral jumps and then a little bit of pace in between the jumps, along with a very good finish, and hopefully either a penultimate or final jump that actually sends you forward. But again, we're seeing some mildly poor jumping, but we are seeing now Braised Ham able to move up a little. Doraway still up at the front. We're going to start kicking on now and start going to go. We did ask for them to go early. Jump 9 of 11 is a pretty decent one. Half a mile to go, and we are leaving some of the field behind. Oblique Maker has pulled up with an injury. Now our jumping might cost us, but it's a solid last jump, and we are able to push up then over the last half a furlong. From Calculated Rescue, looks like Nusa Sheila will be in third, just ahead of the grey Rosada Bell in fourth. And Harmony Burgundy takes fifth. So, yeah, I mean, I'll take it. I'll 100% take it. I think that's a good run. Again, it's not grade 1. It's not even a class 1. It's a grade 2 handicap. And we have a big wage advantage. We're very young. But distance-wise, that felt really nice. It felt really nice. And so again, I think without jockey instructions, we can probably run 2.7. So anytime we're coming down to about 2.4, I think we can challenge early and probably get away with it. We're not quite at the 3 mile mark. That might come. That might come. But yeah, that was a pretty good display all in all. A big winning margin. And again, it is a feature race. It's a class 2. There is something to that. You know, there is a little bit of quality in that race. It's not quite a graded level, but it's a nice stakes race. And you can kind of take a little bit of pride and satisfaction in how you run those races. And I think we kind of did okay. We kind of did okay. Let's go to Friday auction then. Don't really like that. And then the 2-year-old auction. I don't think so. We got a Breeders on the 24th. Let's go and look for any extra races then. Let's start them. With living pot, I've got a 2-1. Still seems to be at 2 to 2-1. Only 2 races. Don't love either of them. I can race again without any issue, but are we gonna have a lot of races? It might be best to wait for a bigger race. It definitely feels that way. Okay, Purple Searcher would be next at 2-2. I wonder. Sandown Grand National Hurdle. I've got a 2-2, but it might be a 2-1. And if it is a 2-1, and we run that, and we challenge earlier, with this little bit of adaptability, even if we are kind of right at 2-2, it's going to be a tough test, but it's a shot. And another grade 1. And we haven't been dominant, but I think we've been pretty good with Purple Searcher in a lot of these. So I don't mind. I don't mind running that. Peanut Butter and Blazing Sue. Do they really like any more than 2-4? I think if anything, that's slightly under 2-4. Probably the same. You do need a run. See, my issue is I do have some 2-5s here, or what I think are 2-5s, including Caracan and South Bullet, which I would be tempted to run here. South Bullet's not likely to make it and do anything. Caracan's already full in terms of potential they can get. Blazing Sue is playing catch-up. That might be okay. I'm not entirely sure that makes sense. I think we're 2-4. Maybe we can try challenge later and see if that helps, but I don't know Sue's distance as well as I know some of these other distances right now. It's taken me a long time to learn the other distances. I've had 2 races with Blazing Sue, and I definitely think I've nailed it at 2-3.5 to 2-4. Now we're looking to go at 2-4.5. I don't know if it's there. I don't know if it's there. If it is there, and if we can win, that'll be a big, big race for us. That would be a big, big race. Yeah. Decent field. One okay. Grade 2. Not sure how good the field is, but possibly pretty good. One a little more comfortably. Does that trend towards that little extra half a furlong? Do we need a jockey instruction? Possibly. I'm very unsure of exactly what I want to do there. Caracan can still run a novice. I don't think we need to. We're not really like trying to figure that horse out or get it too many more runs. I'd probably have Crystal Verdict still at 2-4 as well. Can I come down to 2-3? No. So it's not really too much at 2-3, 2-4. And that's something that we do need is a few horses in and around, or a few races in and around this distance, because we do tend to get a lot of horses in and around this distance. I'm wondering again, is it worth running into a novice? And I don't think so, because I don't want to end up over racing the horse. I'm missing out on a chance to get better grades. Don't think we're a mile away from a grade 2 or a grade 1. So I think with these 4-year-olds, I'm better off being lightly raced than heavily raced, unless we need to fill potential, which Verdict does. But I still think we can do that in graded races a little later in the season, like September, October-ish time. We might just hold off on those for right now. Lockkeeper's interesting because I do feel this is a good little horse that could do something. It's one of my best jumpers, or my best jumper. Yeah, I just don't know where to run him. I almost feel like this would be a really good race for him. But I don't want to double up. And we've already got a grade 2. Third in a grade 1. Again, we might just have to wait on a lot of these horses. We might have to wait on a lot of these horses. Sweet and Sour can run. Yeah, you can run that one. That's fine. So Bullet. Can have a 2-5, but why? I don't love that field he'd be going up against. It's a handicap. Don't really want to go up against handicap. that might be more interesting. We've got one really tough horse. The rest isn't bad. It's going to be so tough. But if there is anything to him, he will be able to run. And in fact, I'm going to geld him just to see what he does. Because if he doesn't do anything in races like this, then he's not going to get much better than he is. Because like, these stats aren't going to carry him very far. He's not a great jumper. He's not a good sprinter. He doesn't really have too much about him. He'll get better quality for sure, but like, honestly, there's not a ton to expect him to grow into and grow up the grades if he can't hit a little class 2 now and show something. So we'll geld him to give him the best chance, but there's a chance he just doesn't make it past this point anyway. So might as well geld him. Might as well geld him. And then what's here for braised ham and dramster? Really? It's not a ton at 2.6. Or at 2.7. Or at a mile. Or even at 2.5. There's a couple of horses that I just want to get maybe an extra length on, but Dramster and Braised Ham, I think, are probably the biggest two to get up to that 3 mile mark. I don't mind somewhere around here. A little handicap again. I don't mind it. We won't be top weight. I think that gives us another chance to be competitive like in the last race. Maybe a bit of a tougher trip, to be honest. A little bit of a tougher trip. Dramster, I don't think we need to run as much because we have those races already run. I mean, 3 Group 1 wins, 2 Living Park's got 1. I don't mind going down to a grade 2 for her. And then Peanut Butter, I'd like a grade 2. Lockkeeper, I might take a grade 3, and I might try Crystal Verdict in a novice if the grades don't come through, but I'm trying to at least match grades. So yeah, not as many runners, but we get to really have our big decision on South Bullet early. We're going to have that decision to be made pretty dang quickly. How was this? 24th of July. Yeah, so okay, there's nothing even in it. Fine. Galway. South Bullet. We are a little lazy. And that's not what you want to see because, I gotta say, this could be the last race for South Bullet. 2 mile 4, 110 yard Guinness Novice Hurdle. Class 2 novice race, 4-year-olds and older, over in Ireland. Galway. And is it the finale for South Bullet? One last shot. We're on the far side. Couple of dark grays on this near side. Puya Devious and Mischievous Smuts along with us, chasing down Rossetti Fortune, your early leader. Back to back to Kakira Lodges, the light grey, then Passionada Joab in between them, and oh what a lady, Zephyr on the far side. First few jumps, everything kind of okay for us. Not in a bad place. Going to turn the camera halfway on the jumps now. 10 furlongs to go. Rossetti Fortune still leading by a few lengths. And then single file for most of the horses as we approach that mile marker. The chasing pack coalescing. We've got 4 and us just in behind the leader. And then Zephyr is a little detached at the back. We jump okay there though. Getting ourselves into a decent position to come around the turn. Doesn't look like we've got the legs right now. But here we come with a later charge. Not a bad jump round the outside. It does look like Akira Lodges in. And then we falter. And then we fail. Kaika Lodges will take it. Rossetti Fortune holds on for second. We barely take third. We didn't look good. And yeah, that was about as good a situation we could be in, apart from being a little lazy in the paddock. And just, yeah, the results really aren't great. They're not bad. I think for 100 grand, you could do a lot worse. It just doesn't feel like it's going to come together. And it just doesn't feel to me like we're ever going to win a grade 1. And so why would I put another 4 years of developing this horse in? I just don't really feel like that's a good thing to be doing right now. So, yeah, have to say goodbye. Okay, Paula Dubois, Roger Bellini, not too bad. Decent enough records. 1 grade 1s. Only 1, of course, but they've won grade 1s. Couple other horses that have won at decent clips. Maybe an unraced 3-year-old. $750,000. Drum beat that mount is gonna have a lot of stamina, a lot of potential that might not ever be filled. I don't love a lot of it, to be fair. There's part of me that like, I really like the cruising burst. There's part of me wants to keep it for that. Part of me that thinks, there's potential, but isn't that bad. I can get away with a lot of stuff, but also it just doesn't have any jumping ability. Is it ever going to be a chaser? Or is it always more likely just to be a hurdler? And is it ever going to be a grade 1 winner? And I don't fully see it. It's probably one of the best, if not the best, we bought at auction, but no. I don't feel there's quite enough there. Braised ham, Galway, back again. Coping well. Tipped by 1. Favorite. Youngest horse. Back-to-back winner. Let's see if we can make it 3. 2 miles, 6 furlong, 110-yard Galway Centre handicap hurdle, Class 2, handicap up to 140 rated horses. 4-year-olds and older are eligible. We'll see how we run. No jockey instructions on this one, just I think the distance is about right. Let's just let Braised Ham run and see. I don't think it's the worst field in the world, but it's definitely not the most challenging either. We will get off on that far side towards the rear of the pack. Now we're on the near side as we flip the camera around. Ep11 Dreamer, and then back to Looper Potts and Kind Fable leading up. Paragon Federal, Educated Lewis, Welcome, Money Penny, Ourselves, Tambora Sarajevo, Crafty Tweed, and Naeem Palinda a little bit at the back, about a length off this chasing pack. We're about 15.5 furlongs out, about a third of the way round the jumps, and we are on the outside. We do come down to the rail, give ourselves a little bit of a tighter bend, not wasting as much time to make those right-hand turns. 1.5 miles out and coming up towards the halfway point in the jumps as well. We're right in there, stalking down the leader. A poor jump from them. Ep11 Dreamer not getting a great jump. That brings us and Paragon right up. We're going to drop back alongside Paragon and the rest of the field now coalescing around us. There are no gaps in between anyone in the field apart from the leader, Ep11 Dreamer, back to the chasing. Here comes Kind Fable bridging that gap, and we are in the mix then. 5 furlongs. It's a decent jump. A little bit blocked off there. Half a mile to go. A few more jumps. Braised Ham does not look like they're gonna be in the mix for this one. Move to the outside. Doesn't look like there's too much coming from deep. We're not a good enough jumper. And that's a very disappointing one. Distance, I felt, was going to be good. We started at the back. We didn't get great. We didn't have a clean run. We didn't have a weight advantage. We are a young horse. But all in all, I still expected to be quite high up this field. And, yeah, we actually lose a rating point, which shows that we did worse than we were supposed to. I kind of had this like 3 to 5 lengths back. I'm not going to lie, second or third is kind of where I would expect to finish. It didn't really seem like we had any finish at all. It just seemed like the distance was way off. Maybe we need to stay shorter so we can always hit the jockey instructions. Maybe Braised Ham needs that to perform. But it says the trip suited perfectly. We just weren't good enough. That might just be an age thing. But it's pretty much what we faced. Slightly lesser quality in a couple of horses, but pretty much a similar field. An extra half a furlong, but we're getting the distance right. I think maybe we're just stretching our distance a little bit to the point where we can't really use challenge early. And naturally, Braised Ham just wants to challenge way too late. Maybe that's something to do with it. So we're forcing him into a better, more optimal racing strategy that naturally he won't do. So maybe stay at 2.6 and challenge early. Maybe even down to 2.5 and challenge early if the race is right. But yeah, that, even though we got a lot of things right there, just that was not a good run. And we definitely showed her an experience, which is a shame. Is a shame. But yeah. We tried to go over 3 miles. It didn't work out. We hit 3 in a novice, which is fine, but not really a true test. We came down to 2.6 and won back-to-back handicaps. We stepped up half a furlong and it all went wrong. Why do I feel like Dramster can get slightly more distance than Braised Ham, even though Braised Ham has more distance adaptability and bigger stamina bar? But I do think Dramster is capable of going longer. I think that's my biggest question mark is little things like this where in the flat save, I'm pretty good at getting distances. I'm probably like half a furlong out on most horses, up to a furlong at times. But I feel like I've got a way better grasp of distances than I do sometimes here over the jumps. And especially as well, they're moving, from hurdles to chasing. I think, that adds an extra element in again. But I really don't understand Dramster and Braised Ham right now. Why Dramster would just have extra distance that it doesn't seem like they should. Not sure. This one is really interesting. We're not tipped. We look okay. We're one of the favorites. I think we're slightly over distance. We wanna go a little bit further, so we can go challenge earlier. I find this really interesting, this field as well, because last year's winner is a 66-1 outsider. I get that they're older, but dang, that feels disrespectful. It really does. It really, really does. And I think then it makes sense. Some of the order for sure. But Caracas a good horse. Woodman Bravo, we know, is a good horse. They might not be amazing horses, but they're good horses and will prove a real good test for us. Again, we're all really, really close at the night nurse. And we got Tussa Crackle, who's probably coming down in distance. That's a really interesting one. And then grade 2 and 2 grade 3 Australians, including the favourite, because they've just been very close to winning grade 1s. And have been very, very consistently good. Kind of got to give them a little bit of credit. So, yeah, third in this race, second in this race, second in this race. Another 8, they're in their prime. Is it their time? Maybe. You don't really know, but I like Purple Searcher. I really do. I think we could maybe win this race. Or maybe we could crash the game. Where's that game just... Oh my god. Oh my god, a game's just been deleted. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Luckily I saved before the race. I guess I'm not watching this one. Which sucks, because I really want to. It is their year, it is their year. Third, second. Finally, fourth time of asking, they come and they win it. But a really good run for us again. 5 Grade 1 wins. We got a second and a third here. And another second here. So we could have had another 3 Grade 1 wins on another day. I really like Purple Searcher. I really do. Cracker did come last. Woodman Bravo was decent. But yeah. Cabriole Laura finally wins the Sandown Grand National Hurdle. We were a decent way off. We were a decent way off. A good run. But I'd like to win some more races. I'd like to win some more Grade 1s. I do feel like it's been a while. What's that, February? For the living pot? It was May when we won the Dunkirk. I think that was the last one. And then last September for Dramster. And May for Caracan, early May. And Blazing Sea, of course. That was actually our latest one. National Hunt Cup. Yeah. Does feel like we're not quite as good as I thought we might be at this stage. And I know I get ahead of myself, and I'm pushing 4 and 5-year-olds winning Grade 1s, and like we're overachieving. But that kind of becomes the new norm, and I expect it, and I probably shouldn't, and I'm well aware of that. We don't peak until age 7 to 8. Then, don't get too worried about what you're doing at age 4 or 5. Keep growing, keep developing, keep testing, but don't be too worried about it. But I'm always going to try for Grade 1s, and I'm always going to try and win. Sweet and sour. Yeah, we are heavily tipped. We look okay. We are favorites. Not a big race. It's a novice chase. 2 mile, 4 furlongs for 4-year-olds and older. Small field. And we do start near the front. Gonna be Kalkevi, Vogi, Howards, Yukundas, and ourselves with Allegra Portrait just behind us. Southerners Wen in picture and just ahead of Morgan's Kiev. There, a couple of miles from home, downhill. Decent jump, and we do push ourselves up right on the heels of Vogi at that point. Yukundas right there with us. Allegra just in behind. The last two are still last, but no distances behind the chasers, about a length and a half back of Kalkevi. Vogi lengthens out a little bit now, approaching that mile marker. And jump number 9 of 14 is completed up this left-hand hill onto the side track. Coming now along the edge. A solid jump. Here comes Morgan's Kia from the back, getting into contention. Half a mile from home. Who is going to want this and who is going to go? Can Vogi hold on downhill, pushing out then? A good jump from Kiev, but they don't have the pace. Here comes Sweet and Sour. They have the pace. They have the jumping. They can push out. Sweet and Sour takes this one nice and comfortably. A good run. Just stalked the entire way. Pushed on and ran it out like a champ. 6 1/4 in the end. It's kind of what we expected. It's a nice little run. That's what we should be running. And the fact that we're running them and winning them at that kind of level is fairly impressive and bodes well for the 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old seasons. But we have got horses that have grades and age 4. And Sweet and Sour isn't quite one of them. And I dislike that. I really dislike that. Because I do think that's one of our best horses. And the fact there's only them and Braised Ham that don't have a grade, and I'm pretty sure Braised Ham will in the future. I'm pretty sure Sweet and Sour will in the future. But the fact those two haven't right now, and the fact that Sweet and Sour is by far the lowest rated horse we have right now, does feel a little off. A little off. But we will end things then with Blazing Sue running right here. If you have enjoyed, please do hit the like button. If you haven't already subscribed, please do that as well. And here we go then. Huge field, 24, I believe. Last year's winner is Sana Espresso. They are in this. Looks like a lot of this field may be in this as well. Tramster came fairly close. Purple Searcher not far in behind. Peanut Butter and Caracan well off the pace for this one. Okay. We will be low weight. Everyone's on weight. We're not even the youngest horse. This is just open, so there's a bunch of 3-year-olds. Got a couple of flat racers in. A wide range of abilities and ratings and experience and nations and grades and form. We're 66-1 with the rank outsider that is inside 100-1. Tipsters say Bluebell Spray. Antonio as well. Sanad's a little lazy. Okay. Papoose Bless looks calm. We look very calm. That's definitely not what you want to see before this one. We're a good horse, though. We are a good horse. I do feel we might need to challenge a little later on this one. Could be an issue with Lazy, and then telling it not to go until right at the end. If we don't kick in, we could be in issues. So our only unbeaten horse, 2 races, 2 wins. We'd kind of like to see a statement win here. I'm not sure it's going to come today. I think the capability for this horse is there. I just don't know if it'll come today. So our Rickerton, 2 mile 4 furlong, 110-yard Grand National Hurdle, a race that we have targeted pretty heavily over the last couple of years. I think a good run for us and a chance to go abroad and maybe test ourselves against horses we wouldn't see that often. It's a nice Class 1, Grade 1, open age. I don't know. There's a lot of good horses in this field. We do start near the front, which will help, and near the inside. A decent first jump for us. We are going to settle back a little bit, but probably not get blocked off, at least early on, which is nice. It looks like we got Clefelt, Claturian Blocker, Tusser Crackle drop back there a little bit. Bluebell Spray, one of the favourites, and Crystal Symbol back to Excel Bolt, the Green Silks of Is It Nose, and Chef Rona Fatal. Woodman Brava, Zima Blanca, just about on screen. Everyone else back, including us, isn't on screen. No fallers, no injuries, no unseated riders as of jump 6. The next is the midway point. Everyone seems to clear it okay. We're just off camera and looking like we're in a decent position. A mile to go. And the final 5 jumps then. That's the first. Everyone clears. The grey of Hack Diana, I think, on the outside, making a little bit of progress. Half a mile for home. We set the challenge late. We are doing that, and a nice jump there. Do we now have the pace? We're going to be in the top 5. We're in the money. Do we have what it takes right to the death? We're chasing down Excel Bolt. We don't. Tusser Crackle coming back. I thought they dropped out of it. Tusser Crackle dropping back. Blazing Sue, I feel like, just died at the line. A touch too far. Even challenging later. That little bit of laziness may be playing a part. But we do beat out one of the favourites, Bluebell Spray. Tulsa Crackle, good horse. We're right in the middle of them. And Excel Bolt comes from the back. An absolutely cracking run from them. An absolutely cracking run from them. And they are a pretty good horse. 21st in the Grand National. Quite a way behind. But, yeah, they did okay. And that's their first ever Grade 1 win. Comes a month after their first ever grade win, they picked up the Grade 3 Marshall Batteries Hurdle in Hastings. They like coming down under. They're going back for Aintree for the National Hint Cup in the Sprinter Sacra race. But I feel pretty good about this. We almost got the distance right. If we weren't lazy, we're definitely competing for second, if not getting second, maybe even competing for first. But yeah, I think we handled that run about as good as we could. And being such a young horse competing with some prime horses right now, and just a monster closer performance from Excel Bolt, really, I feel really good about where we ended up and the way we ran. So, yeah, we lose our unbeaten record for sure. It is what it is. But Blazing Sue is a nice horse. If we can finish off this potential, if we can gain this potential, I do think that there's a chance next season and onwards that Sue could really do something. So we weren't perfect. We got dang close to it. And that's going to be tough performances here and there, but a couple of impressive ones. And I think we're getting closer. I think a lot of these horses are proving their qualities. And especially, as inconsistent as some of them may be, the 5-year-olds are sort of finding their levels now. And they're able to get something done. I'd love a grade 1 on Beena Putter. The rest, though, are where they need to be. And Beena Putter has been close and looked real good doing it. And if we hadn't have double dipped, we would have won the Juvenile Oak St. Ledger. I kind of got to live with that if Beena Putter never gets a grade 1. But I don't know. I think we definitely got these interesting 5-year-olds. The 4-year-olds are all coming along. Like I said, I don't really worry about Braised Hammer, Sweet and Sour never getting grades. I think they got it in them to get grade 1s. Crystal Verdict, I think, can get a grade 2, maybe a grade 1, depending on the run. And Lockkeeper can get a grade 1 as well. I'm pretty sure of that. So I think at least we'll be hitting heights and maybe getting grade 1s with all these horses. I like our breeding stock. I like the fact that towards the end of the season, we've got another 4 really good mares and a filly to go into the breeding barn and help out there. And I like the fact that Memphis Man is as good as he is. If he breeds that way, we should have some absolute monsters coming through very, very soon too. So, yeah, let me know what you think. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Check out the other playlists available on the channel as well as the memberships. Appreciate the support. I'll see you very soon. And until then, thank you all for being part of this journey. Take care, stay safe, all the very best, and I'll see you soon.